Do you struggle with SI joint pain? I'm Dr. Israel, and as someone who treats SI joint pain for a living, I found a few exercises that help a majority of my patients, and I'm going to share that with you. Now, if you're not familiar with my videos, I like to show 3 movements that go in sequential order of another, where the first movement we help reduce tension in that area, the second movement we help restore motion in that area, and then the third movement we give you a stability and strength exercise to really hold those changes for longer periods of time. Now, if you have a ton of SI joint pain or even low back pain, seek a local movement or medical professional before trying any of these moves. So let's get right into it with move number 1. So usually SI joint pain is going to be right in this area. So we're going to do a simple move to help decompress that joint. So let's say I have left SI joint pain or stiffness. From this quadruped position, I'm going to kick my left foot in, and then from here, I'm going to just slowly drop my forearms to the ground. So what we're trying to do is use the long axis of the femur to really stretch out that backside of the hip, so then we can really start to open up that SI joint. From the backside angle, I kick that foot in, drop down from here, and if I can, I want to fold that opposite hip towards the ground. Then you should feel a good stretch through the backside here. Now this is an awesome static stretch. We can hang out here for a good 30 to 60 seconds. And while you're holding this stretch, you can amplify it by moving up and down a little bit. You can go side to side, or you can even go in circles. The whole time I'm just trying to sink that opposite hip closer and closer to the ground. And of course, while you're at it, you can stretch the opposite side. So I'm dropping down here, and then from this angle, you'll see I really try to fold that hip down, and we're getting a nice elongation through the backside of that hip and SI joint. So there was move number 1. That's going to help reduce tension in that area. Number 2, we're going to start to restore motion. So super convenient, these first 2 moves are in the same position. So from here, again, if I'm trying to isolate my left side, I'm going to slowly lift this knee off the ground. We're thinking about driving my butt cheek towards the ceiling and then bringing it right back down. We're just going to try to isolate motion through this side of the pelvis for a good 10 repetitions. So from the backside angle, I'm just thinking about lifting my knee off the ground as much as I can without shifting anywhere else, so we can really isolate that motion right through that SI joint. Now that's a super easy move. Let me show you how to take it up another level. So if you have a yoga block, or you can stack up some books and then put a pillow on top of it, we're gonna get in that same quadruped position, but we're gonna prop our right side. So we're still stretching out that left side. We're gonna put our right side knee up on this block. And then from here, now you can start to drive that knee towards the ground to stretch that SI joint that way. And then like we were doing before, you can try to bring that knee up as high as you can without moving through any other portion of your body, so we can get a nice full range of motion through that backside pelvic area. So again, from that backside, I'm driving my knee towards the ground. If I try to touch it, I'm going to rotate, so I'm only going to go as far as I can without moving through the body, and then we're going to drive that knee up off the ground or that butt cheek towards the ceiling, and we're going to bust out a good 10 to 15 of these. And there's move number 2. So very quickly, we help reduce tension in the backside of that hip, specifically the SI joint area. And then we restored some motion, just trying to isolate movement through the pelvis. And then lastly, with number 3, we want to reinforce those changes. So let's say again, my left side's my problem side. I'm going to come up into a side plank from the knees position. This is level 1. Most of you should be able to do this no problem, but I'm already feeling this hip starting to work and starting to stabilize. Level 2 of this move is coming up into what we call a DNS star plank position. So just holding this static position, I really feel this bottom side hip. What this is going to do is really help stabilize that SI joint with more muscle activation. So I'll show you from the bottoms up angle. Again, driving up top here, just a simple side plank from the knees. Most of you should get this no problem. Level 2 is bringing arm and leg up over top, and I can already feel this bottom side hip having to stabilize more, feel some glute activation, which is going to be super helpful. And then from here, we're just going to simply hold this for a good 30 to 60 seconds if you can make it that long. If that's too challenging, you can do about 15 seconds, and then you might as well train the other side while you're here. On my right side, come up into that side plank, up into that DNS star position, and then we're just gonna simply hold for time, or until you feel like you're starting to fatigue, then you can drop it back down. There's gonna be a few of you that don't feel much of that activation yet. Be careful what you ask for, because there is a level 3 to this move that's really gonna start stabilizing and activating the muscles in this area. So let's go through the stages again. Level 1, level 2, level 3 is trying to isolate trunk rotation while holding this plank position. So I'm gonna fold in as far as I can, feeling a big stretch through that backside glute. Then I'm gonna drive this knee into the ground and a little bit of my elbow here on the bottom side to rotate back up. And we're gonna do nice, slow, controlled rotisseries or rotations around that bottom side hip. Whew. Just after a few reps, I'm already starting to shake. So this only takes a good 10 reps. Some of you might be able to do 15 if you're real advanced. Whew. I'm gonna give my left side a break. I'll show you the bottoms up view, training my right. So I come up into that star position, and then from here, we're trying to just rotisserie or rotate around that bottom side hip, just moving the torso. And boy, are you gonna feel this roasting your Georgia peaches, those glutes, and all those posterior hip stabilizers. Whew. Well, there you have it. There's 3 moves you can do if you're struggling with SI joint pain that are gonna reduce tension in that area, restore motion in that area, and then reinforce it with strength and stability. And if you're struggling with any other portion of your body, whether it's a certain joint or muscle group, let me know in the comments below what video you want me to make next. And if you struggle with a lot of hip flexor tension, check out how to reduce that tension with this video here. As always, keep it moving.